If you're just starting your own workshop or you've recently opened, you're probably focused on the ramps, tools, insurance, the rent, all the obvious stuff. But what catches most new business owners out is the system side. Because a workshop is just like any other business. You need proper processes in place for bookings and making sure you get paid for the labor you do. Otherwise, you'll spend your time working and not actually making any money. So in this video, I'm going to show you the business systems you need for your workshop. So grab a pen and paper and let's dive in. Firstly, here's why systems matter. Most new owners think a garage works like this. The customer turns up, you do the job and get paid. In reality, the job's only half of it. The profit's made or lost in what happens around the job. If you're not capturing the right details, logging everything correctly, and moving each booking through a simple process, you'll end up with the same 3 mistakes. You undercharge because labor and extras get missed. You waste time because you're chasing information, approvals, parts, payments, and you lose repeat business because there's no records, no reminders, and no reason for customers to come back to you. A proper system doesn't need to be complicated. It's just a reliable way to track who the customer is, what the vehicle is, what the issue is, what work was approved, what work was done, and what needs to happen next. So let's start with the first system you need to run a workshop properly: booking and diary control. When a job comes in, the key is making sure it's logged accurately and somewhere you can rely on. A lot of garages now are still using pen and paper or a quick WhatsApp message. The issue with that is when the customer comes back weeks later with a question or a warranty query, you've got nothing to rely on other than memory. So for bookings, you need a few clear parameters. What type of jobs do you book in? How far ahead do you book? And what information do you need to capture every single time? That last one is the start of your standard operating procedures. That's going to make sure the business runs consistently every time, no matter who takes the booking. As a minimum, we recommend capturing customer name, postcode, so you can get the correct address via the lookup, vehicle reg, so you can do a reg lookup, the symptoms or the reason for the visit, when the job needs to be completed by, the customer's phone number and email address, as well as an authorization limit. Can you proceed or do they need a call first? In many cases, it's also smart to take a deposit, especially for your larger jobs. When you're just starting out, no-shows can wipe out your entire day. You need to protect your time on the ramp. And if you're mobile, your time on the vehicle. Finally, if you want to capture inquiries 24/7, an online booking system really helps. It's going to let your customer book when they're free, not just when you can answer the phone. The second system you want to implement is quoting and authorization. What's really common in vehicle repair is a job comes in and you estimate on the spot or build a quote from memory. That's how undercharging happens. Instead, we recommend using job templates. For routine work like servicing, brakes, MOTs, etc., you pre-build your pricing so you can quote accurately from the start. This is going to protect your margin more than anything else. It also stops surprise work being done for free because your job templates can include different versions, including sensible upsells, a worst case labor allowance where appropriate, and clear inclusions and exclusions, so there's less ambiguity. From there, you need a simple labor policy. For example, diagnostic work is always paid. There's no quick look that turns into half an hour on the ramp. This might be uncomfortable at first, but it signals professionalism. When you're just starting out, you want to come across as a garage with proper processes, not one that's just winging it. Finally, you need authorization checkpoints. You've already captured the customer's preference at booking. Now you need to apply them consistently. That could be approval for anything above a certain amount or for any additional work that's required. Either way, it keeps everyone aligned and prevents any awkward conversations at the end. The third system you'll want in your workshop is a clear job sheet workflow with a clear handoff from booking to completion. When you create a booking, you should generate a job sheet. That's where everything gets recorded as the work happens, so you're not relying on memory later. A good job card is going to help you in 3 ways. Number 1, it keeps a proper record. So if that customer comes back with a warranty issue or just a follow-up question, you've got clear history on exactly what happened and why. And number 2 is it helps you spot patterns. If you see the same fault on a similar vehicle, your notes from previous jobs can save you hours. For example, a Fiesta with a recurring issue is way easier to diagnose when you can reference what happened last time. And number 3 is it improves your future quoting. When your job sheet includes things like notes, labor, parts, and outcomes, it helps you build a knowledge base that's going to make you quote more accurately over time. You then want a simple set of stages so everyone knows where each job is at, whether that's on a T card, in your diary, or on a board. The flow usually looks something like to do, in progress, waiting for parts, on hold, and completed. Finally, building a quick quality check at the end of every job. Make sure the work's completed, the road test has been done where appropriate, and log everything on the job card. This is one of the easiest ways to prevent comebacks and protect your reputation. Before I move on to the final 3 key systems you need to set up your workshop or tighten things up if you're already running one, I want to mention that everything you've seen today can be handled inside GDS. GDS is built specifically for workshops to help you systemize your day-to-day operations and improve profitability through faster job flows, less wasted ramp time, and more accurate quoting. If you want to see what GDS could look like in your workshop, click the link in the description and book in a free demo. We'll walk you through the system and show you exactly how it can apply to your setup. Moving on to the 4th system, this is where we look at parts and protecting your margin. First, parts control. When it comes to parts, you need to make sure everything is properly logged. When it's just you, it can feel easy to keep track of everything in your head. But when you start to add more jobs, more suppliers, and just have more people involved, things can fall apart really quickly. Most garage management systems now have parts integrations. That means you can track where the part was bought from, the details and purchase info, and what job it was allocated to. More importantly, it should all be tied back to the job sheet, so you've got a clear record and can clearly invoice later on in System 5. Finally, think about who handles the admin that comes with parts. Things like returns, credits, and disputes. At the start, that'll be you. But it's worth building this into your standard operating procedures early on. Set clear criteria for what gets approved, who signs it off, and any limits, so things stay smooth even as the workshop grows. System number 5 is arguably the most important because it's where you actually get paid. It's your invoicing, payments, and the processes that determine how quickly you get money in the bank after the repair. In most cases, you've already created an estimate, so the simplest workflow is to convert the estimate into an invoice. The key is that the invoice should reflect exactly what happened to the vehicle. A vague line and price used to be normal, but customers now expect a clearer breakdown. That includes things like labor lines that show what was done, parts lines that show what was fitted, and notes that add context when needed. The clearer the invoice, the fewer questions and disputes you'll have at payment time. Next, you want payment options that are convenient. We recommend GaragePay, which supports card payment and pay by link. That's where you can email or text the customer a link allowing them to pay instantly before they even come to collect the car. That's helpful for them and you because the payment automatically allocates inside GDS, meaning you're not wasting time matching things up and reconciling. You also want a simple payments policy. The car doesn't leave without payment. Having that policy in place prevents the awkward "I'll pay you next week" conversation, and it sets clear expectations from the start. Finally, build a daily habit of invoicing straight away. This is where all of the earlier systems are going to come together. When you quote accurately and everything's logged on the job sheet, you can invoice straight away without missing any details. Leaving all your invoices until things are quiet is going to increase the chance that you forget something, undercharge, or even miss an invoice entirely. Converting the estimate straight into the invoice is going to save you time and protect your profits. System 6 is customer communication and retention. When it comes to communication, the rule is simple. You need to contact customers before they chase you. This one habit is going to reduce complaints, build trust, and lead to more repeat business. And repeat business is what keeps your diary full without you having to constantly rely on discounts and new leads, meaning you protect your profit margins for longer. We have a step-by-step video on a strong customer retention strategy, which you can watch by clicking the video here.